Puff and Usher did have a situation. And that situation led Usher to the hospital. Now, I'll let Usher explain that to y'all. I'll let Usher tell that story.
I don't have anything negative to say about Sean Combs because my experience was not what the world has seen and how he's been, misrepresented.
Being that young and being in the industry and not knowing where to turn and everyone, telling me they love me and, just turn their back on you in a second.
So, do you remember when Katt Williams pulled up on Club Shay Shay and dropped that bombshell? Yeah. He was dead serious, and ever since that moment, the industry has been in straight chaos. One name after another keeps getting dragged into the spotlight, and it doesn't look like Katt plans to slow down anytime soon. Now he's jumped back into the mix, right in the middle of this messy situation involving Usher and Justin, and he's got people talking again with some heavy claims about how things went down behind the scenes. Right after Katt stirred everything up, Usher stepped into an interview and started defending Diddy in public. That raised a lot of eyebrows, but if you've been paying attention, it's not exactly shocking. Usher has shown support for controversial figures before, including Russell Simmons, even after Russell left the country while facing serious accusations. That pattern has people questioning his judgment all over again. Now, if you're wondering how this even started, it goes back to that Oscars after-party hosted by Beyoncé and Jay-Z. According to reports from TMZ, Usher approached Justin with a tense vibe, and things escalated fast. They ended up in a heated exchange that had everyone at the party whispering. People couldn't stop asking, what could Usher have done to make Justin react like that, especially considering their history?
It was hard for me being that young and being in the industry and not knowing where to turn and everyone, telling me they love me and, just turn their back on you in a second. So yeah, it's hard because I want her to know that, she can count on me. But at the end of the day, I'm never going to force myself to be in a relationship with her. It has to be natural, right? So I just I don't want her to lose it. I don't want her to, go through anything I went through. I don't wish that upon anybody. So, yeah, if she ever needs me, I'm just a call.
Let's not forget, Usher played a huge role in Justin's early career. When Scooter Braun first discovered him, Usher was right there, helping guide his rise. But over time, that close relationship seemed to fall apart completely. By 2024, though reports even claimed Usher wanted Justin to join him on stage during the Super Bowl halftime show, but Justin didn't show up. That silence spoke volumes. Now here's where things get even more complicated. When Justin first signed under Usher, there were decisions made about who would mentor him in the industry. One of those moves reportedly involved introducing him to Diddy for guidance. That's how Justin ended up spending an extended period at Diddy's place, something he even documented in an old video that's still online today. At first, he looked excited, like he thought it was a big opportunity, but as the video goes on, his energy shifts, and you can tell something felt off. Back then, people brushed it off as just another celebrity moment, but looking back, fans see it differently. Justin went through a lot in the years that followed, struggles with pressure, personal challenges, and a clear shift in how he moved through the industry. He later leaned into his faith and got married earlier than many expected, which some believe was his way of finding stability and distance from that world. Even so, the industry never really lets people walk away clean. Some fans believe Justin became extra protective of newer artists, especially younger ones stepping into fame. His interactions with Billie Eilish, for example, had people saying he was trying to shield her from the darker sides of the business because he understood what could happen. And this is exactly where Katt Williams' comments start hitting harder. If you've followed him for a while, you know he's been hinting at these so-called mentorships for years. He suggested there's more going on behind closed doors than people realize. He even claimed he faced similar pressure himself at one point and refused to go along with anything that didn't sit right with him. Katt also brought up how powerful figures allegedly tried to pull him into uncomfortable situations during his career, offering huge opportunities in exchange for crossing personal boundaries. He says he turned those offers down every time because he knew there would be a cost attached. That's why, When he speaks on these topics now, he does it with confidence, like someone who's seen the system up close and chose not to play along. All of this has people looking at the industry differently, connecting dots, and questioning stories that once seemed normal. And with Katt continuing to speak out,
It doesn't look like these conversations are going away anytime soon. Now look, nobody is saying for a fact that Justin was used and then tossed aside by Diddy. But when you line up everything people have seen and heard, it definitely raises some serious questions. The details floating around make it seem like something deeper could have happened behind the scenes. And what really has people talking is the idea that Usher may have played a part in connecting those dots. At the time Justin was introduced to Diddy, there were already rumors circulating about questionable behavior in the industry. This wasn't some hidden secret that nobody knew about. What makes it even more intense is that Usher himself has long been surrounded by similar rumors, with people pointing back to his early days in the business as receipts that something wasn't right. Usher and Diddy go way back, all the way to the 90s when L.A. Reid introduced a very young Usher to him at just 14 years old. The official story was mentorship, helping shape him into a superstar. But critics have always questioned what really went on during that time. And things only got more suspicious after Usher's 2005 Essence magazine interview, where his reaction raised eyebrows. According to people present, Usher was open and relaxed during most of the interview, until the conversation shifted to what allegedly happened at Diddy's house. That's when his whole energy changed. He reportedly got tense and said, "I want to save some for my book one day. I'll put it this way. There was a lot of sex." Yeah. That one statement alone had people reading between the lines and asking what he wasn't saying. Then things escalated even further when an alleged email tied to Kim Porter's unfinished book started making rounds online. The message claimed the book included shocking allegations about Diddy's personal life, relationships, and health rumors involving people in his circle, including Usher. The email said, "Some of the things in the book cover Diddy's gay relationships, footage of those encounters, the men he slept with STDs, Diddy giving Usher an STD, and the explosive encounter between Diddy and Usher's mom." That right there sent the internet into a frenzy. Now this is where everything starts to feel even more complicated, because despite all these claims and rumors, nothing has been clearly confirmed. Still, people can't ignore the pattern they think they're seeing, especially when both Usher and Justin's experiences keep getting brought up in the same conversations. Usher has stayed closely connected to Diddy and his circle for years, including figures like Russell Simmons, and that alone keeps people talking. His name even came up in a lawsuit filed against Diddy by producer Lil Rod, which only added more fuel to the speculation. From what's been reported, there were claims about what went on at certain private events, and now people are side-eyeing everyone who was allegedly around during those moments. Because of all this, some fans, and even people online speaking on Justin's behalf, believe Usher has never really distanced himself from Diddy. They think that loyalty runs deeper than what's been shown publicly. And that's why Usher has never directly spoken out or criticized him. Whether that's true or not, it's definitely something that keeps popping up in conversations. In fact, during a recent interview, Usher made it clear that he still supports Diddy, saying he's not turning his back on him. That statement alone had people raising eyebrows again, especially given everything that's been circulating lately. It only added more intensity to an already heated situation. Then there are the claims made by Diddy's former bodyguard, Gene Deal, who has spoken publicly about what he says he witnessed back in the day. According to him, Usher was around during key moments and allegedly saw more than people realize, even suggesting there's proof out there that hasn't been revealed. Gene also repeated long-standing rumors about early interactions between Diddy and a young Usher, which made the situation sound even more serious. As expected, the internet had a lot to say. One person wrote, "Yeah, Justin Bieber should have Chin checked his jaw and slept that man on the spot. He ain't do enough." Another added, "Wonder if that's why Justin turned down the halftime show with Usher." Those reactions show just how divided and intense public opinion has become around this whole situation. And now people are looking at everything with a completely different perspective, especially when it comes to Justin's behavior over the years.
Moments that once seemed random or emotional are now being re-examined, with fans wondering if there was something deeper behind it all.